Okay, so I'm up the back here with the Soarer. Apologies for the noise, it's a little noisy here. My neighbour's just whippersnipping his backyard. So it's been sitting up the back here just whilst the intercooler's getting painted black, or I painted it black. It was just a real quick job. I'll show you that now. Basically the intention is to make it as stealth as possible, so putting that back today. As you can see, the Soarer is real dirty, so giving that a wash today too. This video I'm going to do like a breakdown of all the mods, like I said I was going to do in the last video. It's really bright. So what that means is I'm going to go through all of the mods that previous owners have done and all the things that previous owners have done, and then I'll go through what I've done, and I'll kind of explain some of like the process involved in doing the mods that I've done, and hopefully can show you some of that, which should be pretty cool. I'll probably go to a different location just because he is real noisy. So anyway, I'll show you guys the intercooler now. So we're here in the shed, and I've just got this mounted up here. Swapping the mic over to the back so you can hear me properly. So I just used this here. I just picked this up from Super Cheap. It was, as the name suggests, super cheap, and it was the easiest thing to spray on. I spent like maybe 2 minutes wiping it down with some meths, and then it just sprayed on. I don't know how well it's going to last, but I don't care that much, especially just to get it all black and dark. So behind the front bumper it's harder to see, so I'm going to put this on now. Okay, so the car is jacked up. This should be pretty easy. It's literally just drop in, bolt it back up. One of the things that I will be doing differently though, the bolts on the top of the intercooler up here, when I was taking it off, they had actually come like half loose and half like unscrewed. So I'll be chucking a bit of thread locker on there to hopefully stop that from happening, because that could be disastrous if that fell off whilst driving. Also, apologies if I'm a bit sniffly and sneezy today. The hay fever is pretty bad down here in Melbourne, so yeah. Okay, so that's all done. The intercooler's back on. It took a little bit longer than expected, I guess it always does. But now from the top it looks a lot more stealth, and from the front as well, blends in a lot more. So yep, that's it for the intercooler. I'm now going to take it down on the drive and give it a wash. Okay, so we're back down here on the drive. Sort of parked up there. Also, the battery died on this camera. I guess the time lapse really chews the power. So I currently just got it plugged into a power bank, and you're able to record whilst charging, which is really good with the Osmo Action. Anyway, I'll give you a quick rundown on how I wash the car, and also how I wash the Ford, my daily, which, to be perfectly honest, I definitely care less about than this car. Okay, anyway, I will swap the bike around and I'll show you the products that I use. Okay, here we are. So, first things first, got myself a snow cannon. Got this the other week. This one's just from Maguire's. I believe it's basically the same as all the Amazon ones, so you can probably save yourself a bit of money and just get yourself one of those. These spray bottles I just picked up as well. They're great for diluting, and I use them for a particular wash method that instead of using a 2-bucket method. These are really cheap too. They're $2 each, like $6 for a 3-pack that is, and from Bunnings, and they work really great and pretty decent quality for what you pay. This one here, which I bought a few weeks ago, this is $10 a bottle, and it's actually not even that good. I had to drill a small hole right in the neck because it didn't let air back in, so the bottle would, I guess, depressurize. But anyway, I'm still using that one. Up until today, actually, I was using Gold Class car wash from Maguire's. Real easy to use, doesn't really leave any streaks unless you like really leave it out to dry in the sun. So yeah, that's that one. I'll get back to that in a minute. Got a big old brush, lamb's wool wash mitt, a little tire brush, and a little grit guard down in there. So this I've just picked up, which I'm going to use today. This is Maguire's Hyper Wash. So it's supposedly pH balanced, which apparently leaves the wax on the car, so it's a really clean wash, and apparently you get really great results with the foam cannon in it as well. So going to be trying that one out today. Just got a pretty basic pressure washer, nothing special. This one is an Alto. I don't even know the model. It's pretty old, but it still works. I would say this is probably like maybe $100, $150, so nothing crazy there. So like I mentioned before, I don't use the 2-bucket wash method anymore. I use a spray bottle and a rinse bucket, and that's it. So I dilute. For this one, it's got a dilution of the Gold Class from Maguire in there. It's a 1:10 dilution ratio, and you spray this directly onto the lamb's wool mitt, and then all your brushes, and you can wipe the car that way. I think you get better results with this. You get a much more concentrated, like direct hit of soap onto the car, and it works a lot better, and you don't have to have 2 buckets, and all around I think it's a bit easier to do. So I start off with pressure wash all the grit off, then snow foam the car up, leave it for like 5 minutes ish. Then I pressure wash all of that off again, and then I go through, do the spray and bucket rinse wash method, and then whilst it's drying I hit it with this one here, which is Maguire's ceramic detailer. So I already have put on the ceramic wax, so I did that a few weeks ago. For this one, I got a YouTube tip that you should spray it onto the car whilst the car is dry, and try and like wipe it on and wipe it off like a traditional wax. And so far it's been 3 weeks and it's still gone as if it was applied yesterday. But this one is the one I put on in between applications of these. So I do this every like week or 2 weeks to help with drying the car and to give it a bit more shine and water repelling and dust repelling and all of that good stuff. So let me swap this back around now. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do now. I'll set this up on another time lapse and you'll see me wash the Soarer. I might back the Ford up and wash that too, but it may not make it onto this video. Okay, so Soarer is washed, as you just saw. Pretty easy to do that spray and rinse method, or spray and rinse bucket method. I will say a combination of both the hyper wash and the spray method. This bottle here, which you can see, is basically full. So I filled that up with 50 mils of the hyper wash and then 950 mils of water, so that's a 1:20 dilution, and you can see I've barely even used 100 mils of this bottle. So the hyper wash and the spray bottle method goes a very long way to saving you a bit of money on your car wash, although it's actually pretty cheap itself. I got a gallon of this, which is like 3.8 litres, for 50 bucks, so that's pretty cheap. So just before I get through and dry the car, I just want to show you the kind of hydrophobic properties of the wax. So the Meguiar's Hybrid Ceramic Wax. You just swap the mic around again. Okay, so I will say it's definitely lost some over the 3 weeks since I put it on. So I put it on 3 weeks ago. We've had quite a few like dusty rain showers. I've washed it twice since then, and we've had some hot weather and some cold mornings. So this is kind of I guess the results of living in Melbourne and parking it outside. But I'll just give you a quick demonstration. Let me just spray this panel down. So you can see it's still okay. Definitely not as good as it was when I first applied it, but it still beads reasonably nicely. Just a bit slower than before. So I'm going to go ahead and dry the car and put some ceramic detail on as like a drying aid and to help make the wax last a little bit longer. I do think I'll probably reapply another coat of the wax the next time I wash the car, which is probably going to be in 2-3 weeks, something like that, unless we get some more dusty rain, in which case I'll wash it more often than that. So that's kind of it for the car washing things. You'll probably see me now in another location, maybe tonight, maybe this evening. I might meet up with some friends as well, and I'll go through, if I've got time and the lighting's good and all of that, I'll go through and do a breakdown of all the mods on this car from when it arrived here in Australia. See you then.